Happier is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds.
Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations. Lately, Jamie and I have been on a little flavor tour at Whole Foods Market. Instead of making the same 3 dinners over and over, we wander the aisles and pick a region to visit. It makes dinners feel less predictable. Last week, we leaned Mediterranean. Another time, we swung Latin-inspired. And we always keep San Pellegrino on hand because it instantly makes it feel like more of a fancy meal.
Yeah, I love that at Whole Foods Market, you can really see the savings. Explore the store for yellow signs. You'll find them aisle after aisle, highlighting sales and everyday low-price items with the same high quality. Get inspired to try something new. And if you truly don't want to cook, that's me. The prepared foods section saves me. Empanadas or burritos and dinner is just handled. Whole Foods Market makes it easy to take it easy when it's dinner time. Save on regional flavors at Whole Foods Market.
I'm Gretchen Rubin, and this is A Little Happier. There is really no point to this little story other than it makes me happy, and I hope it will make you happy too. Around the time of Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee in 2022, one of her longtime protection officers, Richard Griffin, was asked by reporters for examples of her wit and her charm, and he told this story. Whenever the Queen was visiting Balmoral, the British royal family's historic estate in Scotland, she often enjoyed going for a picnic and a walk, often just her and her protection officer. One day, during a walk after a picnic, the Queen and her officer encountered 2 American hikers on the path. They stopped to say hello to the pair and immediately realized that the tourists didn't recognize the Queen. They all struck up a conversation, and one of the hikers asked the Queen where she lived. She answered, "I live in London, but I've got a holiday home just the other side of the hills." He asked how long she'd been coming up, and she replied, "Oh, I've been coming up here ever since I was a little girl, so over 80 years. So, of course, you can guess what the tourist asked next. He says, "If you've been coming up here for 80 years, you must have met the Queen." And without breaking a beat, the Queen said, "Well, I haven't, but Dick here meets her regularly." So the tourist turns to the officer to ask, "What's she like?" Now, this officer, Richard Griffin, had known the Queen a very long time, so he knew he could have some fun with the answer. He replied, "Oh, she can be very cantankerous at times, but she's got a lovely sense of humor." In a flash, the tourist moved to stand next to the officer, handed his camera to the Queen, and asked, "Can you take a picture of the 2 of us?" She did, and then they swapped places, and Richard Griffin took a picture of the tourist with the Queen. After they left, the Queen said to him, "I'd love to be a fly on the wall when he shows those photographs to friends in America, and hopefully someone tells him who I am." I laugh whenever I think of those hikers coming back home and someone telling them the name of the very nice woman in the photo. If you'd like to watch this interview for yourself, I'll post a link in the show notes. I'm Gretchen Rubin, and I hope this makes your week a little happier.
Hi, Gretchen, Craig Robinson, and my little sister Michelle here. We host a new podcast called IMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson. We know you're the queen of giving advice, so we wanted to get a few tips from you.
You know, Gretchen, a lot of our listeners are going through some major life changes. What advice do you have for folks who are trying to stay grounded in the midst of major life transitions?
Craig and Michelle, I am so happy to be talking to you. Here are a few questions that might help us gain perspective. So consider questions like this. What activities take up my time but are not particularly useful or stimulating for me? Do I spend a lot of time on something that's important to someone else but is not very important to me? If I could magically change one habit in my life, what would I choose? And here's a question. Would I like to have more time in solitude, restorative solitude, or would I like to have more time with friends? Just thinking about questions like this can help us start to figure out how we might make our lives happier. With greater self-knowledge, we're better able to make hard decisions that reflect ourselves, our own nature, our own interests, our own values. In my own case, I have found that the more my life reflects my nature, the happier I get, and the more grounded I feel when I'm going through a period of major change or transition. For more great advice, search for IMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson wherever you get podcasts. You can listen to Issa Rae on letting go of certain friendships, Kiki Palmer on why disappointment is actually the key to career success, Seth and Lauren Rogan on caring for aging parents, and so many more.